Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Miscellaneous here with Last Beer, aka Josh Abrams. We're here to do an examination of Black is Beautiful. Haven't had this beer. I knew it came out a little while ago. Heard a lot of hype about it. There's a lot of breweries that made it. Weather Souls gave everybody a lot of breweries recipes. And today, though, the one that I have and the one that Josh has, they're both 10%. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'm going to let Josh go first. Take this banner down, and yeah, we'll get right into it.
Sweet. All right, Miscellaneous, thanks for having me. This is awesome. So my Black is Beautiful is from Hardywood. They're out of Virginia. They have a bunch of locations. They first started in Richmond. Like I said, 10% Imperial Stout with coffee. It was canned a little bit over a month ago, January 11th, 2021. So this one says it's conditioned on Kenyan and Ethiopian coffee from Southeastern Coffee Roasters in Baltimore, Maryland. So if anyone doesn't really know what the whole Black is Beautiful series is, it was started from Weathered Souls out of Texas to support justice and equality for people of color. So there's like a ton of breweries that have put out their own different types of variants. I've even seen like sours that people put out for Black is Beautiful. It's like a bunch of different countries, a bunch of different states. Weathered Souls put the recipe out, and everyone kind of added their own little flair to it. This is actually the fourth Black is Beautiful I've had. I've had a few other ones. Three.
You got the one that had like the edible glitter in it or whatever.
Yeah, that one was from The Answer from Richmond. Then I had one from Vale, which is out of Richmond, and then Hardywood, which is out of they have Richmond, and they have like a bunch of other ones. Oh, Licking Hole Creek is another one I had, which that one was okay, but I think the best one I've had so far, I haven't had this one yet, was from Vale. That one was 11%. It was like drinking straight. It was thick. It was like you could like eat that beer.
Chewy,
yeah, it was super chewy. But yeah, a lot of these are hard to come by now because I think a lot of these kind of came out sometime last summer, maybe the fall. But it's a great series. I wish I could have tried more of them. I think some of the Founders had one, and then some other big name brewery ones that had Black is Beautiful. But yeah, this is the one from Hardywood. Like I said, 10%, not too old, with coffee. So you want to pour it up and do that, or?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah. Pour it up. We'll do the same 3 rundown like we always do.
Yeah.
Ooh. You got a little message from your water buddy there.
Oh, drink more water. Thanks, Dio. Interesting. Oh, I feel like I smell burnt coffee already or something. Ooh, that's crazy. Oh, a lot of carbonation on this one. Alex boy.
Got your glass swag and everything. Yeah.
Got the proper glassware for this one. Nice dark color, can't see through it. Nice khaki head. Tight, creamy bubbles on the top. Get that coffee. Get a little sweetness. At first, when I smelt it out the can, I kind of got like a bitterness to it. I was like, oh no. Hopefully it's not that acrid type coffee stuff, but yeah, it smells good. So yeah, can't wait to dive into this one and see how.
Yeah.
Oh, that head sticky.
Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, I got the Black is Beautiful, but mine is from Trustworthy Brewing Company out of Burbank, California. It is also 10%. I didn't do any research on this. I'm gonna go in blind. This is the first time I've had this beer. I didn't see any in Florida, and I had to order this from somewhere, but finally got my opportunity to take a stab at it, and it's cool. They're both 10%, brewed by different companies. We'll just see how it goes. You know, maybe they
Yeah, it's cool.
stick
It's
to a
cool how they
similar.
do like the different. They have that regular recipe, and then everyone kind of adds their own little kick to it or whatever it is.
All right, so yeah, this is poured very dark. I get the very, very minimal reddish hue at the bottom. Poured, let's see, slightly over 2 fingers. Pretty tight knit bubbles. Say it's khaki, maybe a little darker than that. Looks maybe a little bit more like a cocoa colored head. It does appear more khaki on screen. Yours looks a little more red than mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's a little bit lighter than it looks, kind of.
Yeah. Mine's got a hoppiness to it, slightly on the nose. So, yeah. So, yeah. Go ahead, Josh. Dive in, and then, yeah. I'm gonna take a little sip of mine and just figure out what's going on here.
So right off the nose, like I said, this is just pretty much brewed with different types of coffee. But I do get a little chocolate note in there, even though I don't think that has chocolate in it. But maybe that's the malts coming through on this one. Yeah, it's kind of a dark roast type of coffee. Like I said, they use 2 different coffees, Kenyan and Ethiopian or something like that. Ethiopian coffee is pretty common in most stouts out there. Yeah, I get chocolate. I get those dark malts. I get that fresh kind of brewed coffee with a little bit of hoppiness on the back end. Maybe a little bit of vanilla I'm smelling on this one. So yeah, I'm gonna dive into it and see what I get. So cheers.
Cheers, man.
So yeah, right up front I get that a little bit of bitter coffee. Kind of like having a black coffee with no cream or sugar or anything like that. But I do get a sweetness off of this one. The mouth feels a little thin for 10%. I was hoping for a little bit thicker mouthfeel on this one. Get a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of dark chocolate. Very coffee forward, obviously, with the 2 different types of coffee they use for this one. Get a little bitterness on the back end. Not super sweet. It's a little more, like I said, it's kind of like a black coffee without the cream and sugar.
Yeah.
But I do get a little sweetness. I do get a little bit of vanilla in this one, and a little bit of that, more so like a dark chocolate and a milk chocolate. Mouthfeel, like I said, I was hoping it'd be a little bit richer, not richer body, but it's a little thin. But especially for being 10%, some of those higher ABV stouts have crazy, medium to full mouthfeel on this one. But it's good. The coffee notes are great in it. I've had a bunch of stouts with Ethiopian and the Kenyan type coffees.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you get that chocolate, you get that vanilla. That coffee kind of lingers on the back end after I take a sip. I can kind of still taste it in my mouth. Or
I hope so.
it's good. It's good stuff. But ABV's masked pretty well. I wouldn't think this would be a 10% stout. Maybe that's because it's a little thinner than I was expecting, but there's no really alcohol presence to this. So they mask it pretty well. But flavor-wise, I think it's good. Like I said, all together, it starts off sweet and it kind of ends a little bit bitter. So maybe I'll let it warm up a little bit more, but
yeah,
it was sitting in the fridge for a little bit, but I took it out for about a half an hour. So maybe I'll get more of that sweetness or chocolate or something on the back end once it starts to warm up a little bit. But yeah, it's good so far. Like I said, you can't really taste the 10%, so I guess that's a good thing. Or it might be a bad thing. You knock them back and it's like, oh shit,
dangerous. So, yeah.
Right? So, cheers.
Cool, man. Cheers. Yeah, so when I opened mine, it was like, it still has it a little bit there. It's like, it's got a earthy hop presence, like an IPA, almost like a black IPA, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I've heard there's been a lot of different variants of this. Whiskey Scout said he had one that he couldn't discern whether or not it was an actual black IPA or it was a stout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I do get a little bit of vanilla and I do get the coffee. It's very light, and in the background the hops are kind of more up front and in your face. Has a slight sweetness, but it's still that earthy hop notes there. It's got thrown some lacing already. Going for a sip.
Cheers. Uh-oh.
The mouthfeel it's about a medium. It's got low carbonation on it. I am picking up a little bit of coffee, but I wish this can had a date on it, to be honest with you. It's hoppy, man, which would make me think that this is a fairly fresh beer because the hop notes fade the older it gets. So,
no chocolate, like a baker's chocolate or anything like that on it?
It's got a nice, it's like, this one's kind of more on the black IPA side, I think, man. It does. It's got a nice piney, slight resinous bitterness up front. And then as it starts to dry off, you get the coffee, but it does have a very lingering hop note. And it tastes like really like fresh hops, like a green beer, to be honest with you. It's not bad. Definitely wasn't what I was expecting. I get back in here and I'm gonna.
Has the alcohol presence non-existent?
Yeah, for 10%, the alcohol is well hidden. I'm just trying to pick that. The coffee's there, and maybe there is a slight chocolate, maybe more like a cocoa, which can kind of meld into maybe the coffee, the roasted malts. But in my opinion, this one, that Trustworthy, is brewed out of Burbank, California. This tastes a lot like a black IPA to me. I mean, it's really not bad. It's a really good beer, but I've heard that about this, that there's just so many different variants of this, that they've done some this way, some that way. You even mentioned that there could have been, but there was some breweries did sours on it.
Yeah.
Everybody got a basic floor plan recipe of this is how we did it, and they everybody took it and put their own spin on it.
Mhm.
This definitely, in my opinion, this tastes like it was dry hopped. It's just the crisp bite and the flavor on the hops is insane. It's not overly bitter as a standpoint on as a stout or on the hop presence. It's just like really zings true how piney these hops are. It's insane. This was definitely not what I was expecting when I opened this can of beer. But other than that, I mean, throw up some alcohol legs. Yeah, it's got pretty good lacing.
Yeah.
It's definitely a quality beer. Yeah, I'm gonna sip on this a little bit more, and I'm gonna let my cat in the other room because he's meowing. But I'll be right back. So yeah, you want to go? Yeah, we'll go
for
through
sure.
do our finishing notes, and then we'll score, and then
Yeah.
let's kind of give it a little more. Try to give it a little more time to warm up, but it's crazy how the contrast of breweries can be. You know, yours you've got the traditional coffee forward, as in mine is, in my opinion, tastes.
Although
more
I wouldn't think this is 10%. If somebody handed me this,
Oh no!
I probably would have said it's 7.5 or something like that.
Absolutely not.
Mean,
if you handed me this glass of beer and told me this was somebody's flagship black IPA, I wouldn't. I'd be like, wow, that's right on point. So,
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This one's good, but I don't know. There's really not a lot going on, which I guess could be a good thing and a bad thing. Like it's just an imperial stout with coffee, 2 different types of coffee. But the ABV, I was expecting a little bit more. Well, not the ABV, but I was expecting a little more thicker mouthfeel to this one. Because like I said, it's a little bit thin for me. But it's definitely not a 10% to me. I don't taste 10%. But
no, I'm trying to roll this and get some heat to it. I didn't take mine out as early as you did, so that could be.
I took mine out about half an hour before this, maybe ish, something like that. Just let it warm up.
I think I took mine out like 15 minutes before the show.
But even, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're just. It's kind of. I mean, it's kind of lackluster. I mean, there's not really too much going on. I mean, it's not phenomenal or like blows my socks off. It's.
No.
But it's good for what it is.
Oh yeah. I wish I could have got my. Nice. Cheers to you, Western Beer Reviews. Yeah, it's crazy how many variants of this that they've made and how they can contrast.
Yeah, I think there's like
so drastically.
50 countries or something like that, and like a crap ton of breweries that participated in this type of series. And like I said, it started at Weathered Souls, which is out of San Antonio, Texas. And everyone got the base recipe, and then, like I said, they kind of put their own spin on it. And, I wish I would have tried that sour. I think that was from Bearded Iris or somewhere down south.
That brewery sounds familiar.
Yeah, Bearded Iris is out of Tennessee. They're out of Tennessee.
Call that down.
It was a Bearded Iris. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy how many like different breweries and like countries and stuff like that have so many different their own kind of spin on this whole Black is Beautiful series. You know, some come in cans, some come in big bomber bottles. There's stouts, there's sours. I'm surprised someone didn't do it. Well, I guess you. I'm sure there's probably like a black IPA or something like that out there, but yeah, Hardywood. This one for me. Let me go in for another sip. The coffee notes are definitely prominent, which is a good thing because you don't want to have that. It's almost like a fresh brewed type coffee. Like I said, it's like a black coffee with no cream or sugar in it. But I do get that vanilla hint. I do get a little bit of a chocolate note to it. Not milk chocolate, but more of a kind of a baker's chocolate to this one. I just wish it was a little bit thicker on the mouthfeel. Like it's pretty thin. Like I said earlier, if I didn't know, if somebody handed this to me blind, they'd be like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think the ABV on this one is?" And I'd be like, probably about 7.5, maybe 8." But I do kind of get that black IPA type vibe from this too, because it does have a little bit of hoppiness on the back end.
It's got a huge hop sting to it. Not like in a bad way. It's just it's very very predominant compared
like
to
it's not overpowering, but you can definitely tell it's there. Like you get that coffee right up front, but I thought it would be a little bit creamier on the mouthfeel and taste wise for this one.
Yeah.
But and it's not that old. Like I said, it's about a month old. But score wise, you want to do scores?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do scores. Probably, I figured this would probably be about a half hour long.
Yeah,
Small panel examination. No need to take it an hour.
Hardywood. I love you, Hardywood, but I'm gonna give it a. I'll give it an 89. In that kind of B range, like a B plus kind of range. It's good. It's not great, you know. It is. It's an imperial coffee stout to me. Nothing blows me out of the water. Like I said, I wish it was just a little bit thicker on that mouthfeel.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just used to like these highly adjunct stouts and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't honestly, I don't think that might be the case because mine's kind of up the same alley. But
yeah,
I mean, 89 is not a bad score at all. It's fairly good.
And like I said, it's not super old or anything like that. But now that the more I sip on it now, though, I kind of do get that black IPA type of taste on the back end, which is, you get that hoppiness, which kind of throws me off. Stouts aren't supposed to have super hoppy, but
It threw me off.
like I said, it's good. I mean, it's not like a drain pour or anything like that. 89's a B plus. So, but I don't know. It's not that it doesn't wow me. Like I said, I've had 3 other ones, 3 other Black is Beautiful besides this one, and ranking wise between the other 3. Out of the 4 I had is probably, well, let's see, male answer. I'd give it out of the 4 I've had, this is probably number 3 because I've had one that was worse than this one. It was way too hoppy. Yeah, it was way too hoppy. I think that was like 9% or something like that. But
Yeah.
it's not the greatest. But I mean, it's good for what it is,
Mhm.
flavor wise and all that stuff. But like I said, I get that a little bit of vanilla and baker's chocolate. I don't get a milk chocolate, but yeah, I just wish it was a little. As you can see, that there's a little bit of head still kind of clinging to the glass, but yeah, same with
I'm
yours.
working with it.
Yeah, a little bit of alcohol legs on that thing, but yeah, 89 for this one. Black is Beautiful from Hardywood. So yeah,
Cool, man. All right. So yeah, my Black is Beautiful out of Trustworthy Brewing, out of Burbank, California. Totally wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting to get a I don't know. I've heard so many different reviews about this, and Black IPA style stout probably wasn't what I was getting at. It's not a bad beer. Drinks really well. Just was caught off guard by how hoppy this was up front and lingering. Um, Still a really good beer. My score for this is a stout would probably be an 80. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna score this as a black IPA because I believe this to be a black IPA. It's hoppy up front, it's hoppy mid sip, it's hoppy on the back end, slight bitterness to moderate, piney, resinous. Does have a bit of a thinner. It's more. Mine's leaning thin towards medium.
mm-hmm.
Carbonation's low. Just wasn't what I was expecting, and I'm not giving it a bad score because of that. As it being an imperial stout, I would kind of classify this beer. If I gave this to somebody blind taste tested, they would tell me that this was a black IPA, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Hands down. If somebody gave this to me and I didn't know what it was, I would say it's a black IPA. So for a score for a black IPA, I would probably put it at like a 90 to 92. I gotta actually put my finger on the button. I'll go with a 91. It's a good black IPA, in my opinion. Stout, I'm just not getting those real roasty, toasty malts. I'm not getting that coffee's there. It's very mild, followed by the very mild vanilla. It's just the hops blow this thing out of the water. And it's not a bad beer. It's not a drain pour. So just so everybody knows, I guess it's every time you get one of these and it's a different brewery, it's a roll of the dice. You never know what's going to be in here when you get it. So I don't know how many more of these are available. I've talked to a couple people that said that some regions of the U.S. that these are going to be rolling out at certain Walmarts for limited times, things like that. So they will be coming available, I guess, from some companies that made very, very large batches of this, and they're probably sitting on it. So, yeah. Other than that, man, it's not a bad beer. Like I said, mine's warmed up, and it's hot bomb express over here. So,
they should have rebranded as a black IPA instead of a stout.
God, I wish I could have got the one from out of Texas.
The original one, the Weathered Souls.
Original, yeah, the Weathered Souls.
Yeah.
To see where to draw the line in the sand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's could have been more on a black IPA side, more than a traditional or whatever. I don't know. I haven't tasted it. Dia lives in Texas. He didn't see it. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it came out. They started this back in
for a while.
May, June of last year. And then some of the breweries around here in Virginia, they started putting them out. But yeah, I think my favorite was from Vale. It was like 11%, thick as hell. Like you could chew that beer. It was that thick. You get like that was a stout, like you know. But then I had that one with glitter.
It does have alcohol legs for days now,
Oh yeah,
but it doesn't taste boozy at all. This the beer. This one is kind of reminiscent of Doom Sauce, but this is a little bit more hoppy. The Doom Sauce from Lord Hobo, their flagship double black IPA. It's got a similar flavor profile, but this has got a little more hot bite to it.
Yeah, mine's the same way. Like this does not taste like 10%. Like I would, like I said, if someone were to give a glass and they're like, try this Black is Beautiful stout, I'd be like, oh, what is this, like 8%? Blah blah blah. You know.
In the same ballpark with you.
You know, like it's. I don't know if it's the mouthfeel or like I don't know. I guess nod to them. I guess they hid the alcohol pretty well at 10%, but I don't know. I do get the malts and all that kind of stuff, and
that's one thing I'm lacking.
But then again, I've had black IPAs where you've got those strong malts. So I mean, it's hard to tell.
So yeah, I feel like this isn't balanced.
Like I've had that triple black IPA that I have before. I think I brought it up on Multi Monday or something like that. That tasted like a stout because you get those malty notes and you get that chocolate and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of hard to distinguish between.
Yeah, they're dancing a fine line.
Yeah, exactly. Like you would give that to somebody and they'd be like, "Oh, is this a stout?" And it's like, "No, it's a black IPA." So, but I mean, this is good for what it is, but it's not the best that I've had. Like I said, if you can still find the Black is Beautiful in your area, wherever you guys are at, pick it up, try it, and see what you think.
See what your local version, your local breweries, what they taste like.
Yeah.
Feel free to drop comments for the video and tell me what you think about Black is Beautiful and what brewery it's from. So
yeah.
Josh, you have any shout outs?
Philly Cricker 87 Instagram, possibly in the near future here soon. Last Beer Reviews YouTube channel for me. But other than that, nothing really.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of shout outs either. Beer Chugs. Go to Chugs. It's a YouTube channel. We're going to play What's the ABV in about a half hour from now. It's a game show. Gives you descriptions of beer, sometimes a photo, sometimes actual reviews from people. And what you have to do is guess the ABV of the beer. We'll be over there at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, I don't know. Stop by Georgia Beer Reviews, John and Nelly, Sundays at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, AM for Stout Sundays. Go over there, have a stout or a porter, and start your day off right. Have a good Sunday. And other than that, guys, stay sipping. So cheers, Josh. It's glad we could do this.
Thanks. For sure.
Thanks for showing up. You guys have a good one.